Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn met in front of the United Nations to go and discuss cyber violence against women, an ongoing epidemic that they're trying to go and make sure is ceased completely and utterly, something that is brought to the attention of the masses who might be ignorant to the idea that something like this actually happens on a day-to-day basis. But in all actuality, once you start doing a little bit of digging and actually think for yourself, you come to find out that all they're trying to do is promote censorship. And the UN is eating this up like nobody's business, because they're using these two poster children for ammunition to seize control over a wild frontier like the internet, something that they haven't been capable of doing before. Granted, plenty of countries out there have made feeble little attempts to try to maintain control over it, to no avail, unfortunately for them, but now they're using this, and they're going to exercise their ability to take this, put it onto the forefront and say, well, obviously we have to do it. Don't you know that frail and fragile women out there are going to be so terrorized that they'll never want to go on the internet ever again, and this is something that they shouldn't have to deal with. None of this harassment, any of these threats, except for women aren't frail. Women aren't afraid to go onto the internet, and this isn't something that is only happening to women. Let me repeat. This is not exclusive to women. This isn't exclusive to a gender, to a race, to a grade, to a social status, to nothing. Everybody and anybody can harass or can be harassed, just like out there in the real world, just like on the internet. It can happen everywhere and anywhere, but all they're doing is promoting censorship. Let's say, for example, all this shit ends up going through, that they're trying to go and really push upon everybody, and people are oblivious to it and ignorant to it and aren't understanding of the ramifications of how bad this can be. You can go onto one of your many social media accounts, and you can go and say your piece and say whatever it is about whoever it is or whatever it is, and then somebody can be offended by that because we live in a big-time politically correct society, and they can have that removed, they can have that taken down. You can even be arrested. You could be fined. You could have your account shut to everything. So why remove posts when we can just go and shut down accounts? We can go and mute and block. We can go and make sure that nobody is saying anything that's offending anybody. And it's all these self-titled victims that seem to be the real problem. You have these feminazis who hate the idea that people disagree with them, that people go and show that they've been bullshitting and lying, and have been putting them on the spot. And now they're trying to go and find a way that they don't have to be challenged ever again. They don't ever have to be criticized ever again. It has gotten that bad. I want to know in what fucking world that these two became representatives of women on the internet. That's where it gets even worse to think about. I've already said in the past, multiple times, as have many other people, that Anita Sarkeesian really wasn't interested in being a critic of video games because she had no prior knowledge of video games and didn't really give a shit about it. She was using it as a plateau to be able to go and boost herself into politics, and guess what? She just got herself into a fucking front row seat at the UN, speaking before tons of leaders, the world round. Tons of fucking fossils just sitting there, taking up seats for decades now, who have deep fucking pockets and are so oblivious and ignorant to all the things that happen on the internet that just fucking nod and smile, because who would ever go out there and lie? Who would ever go out there and try to say something to better their situation? And for them, again, this is just ammunition. This is an easy way for them to go and take control of whatever the fuck it is that they want. That's what's happening right now. This is ridiculous. There's so many things that are wrong with this world, and these two are representatives of women now. Zoe fucking Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian are representing every female who has ever decided to go onto the internet. Doesn't matter the means of it, doesn't matter if it was on your desktop, your laptop, your smartphone, on your game console, it doesn't fucking matter at all. They're speaking on behalf of all of you. Don't you love the idea that something like this is even happening? And it gets so much worse whenever I think about places like oh, I don't know, Somalia, and Afghanistan, and Sudan, and all these other countries out there, because there's tons of them, where women are being tortured and raped, and their freedoms and their rights are stripped of them. They're being burned and killed. They're being used as items. Real problems that go unnoticed, because who the fuck cares about any of that stuff, right? Because they aren't feminazis having their feelings hurt on the internet. Oh, but don't you know, these are real issues right here. Somebody goes out there and lies and people point out that it's a lie. That person then complains that they are being harassed. Keep in mind that the word harassment and the word sexism has been applied and labeled to virtually everything. And they have no idea about what the fucking actual definition of those words are. But they just throw it around everywhere. I don't like that, that's sexist. I don't like that, that's harassment. I don't like that, sexist. Harassment, sexist, harassment. I'm being harassed, and those people are sexist. That is what's happening all the fucking time, yet nobody's keeping track, nobody's keeping score, and all the people that are, apparently we don't count, especially me. Oh man, cis white male, how dare you, straight white male on there in the internet, you're going and getting harassers after us. And guess what? Videos like mine would be taken down. Social media would be taken down. Any of the comments that you leave, oh, that'd be taken down too. All that could be deemed as harassment. And if they push for all this shit and actually goes through, that means that everything would be cyber terrorism and cyber violence. Anything that is psychologically traumatizing. That's how vague their fucking wording is for this shit. So anything and everything that they don't like, and they just say, hey, that bothered me and made me sad. Oh, well, we gotta go and make sure that shit is put to rest. Think about that. Your freedom of speech is actually in jeopardy. And there's gonna be tons of people out there that don't even give a shit. And there's gonna be tons of people that go out there and say, oh no, you won't understand. The fuck I don't understand. Even if you are for the idea of trying to have a better environment on the internet magically, which won't fucking happen so long as there's differences amongst everybody, and that's something that you can't fucking change. But if you're trying to go and better the internet, this isn't the way, because all you're doing is taking everything and trying to shut it the fuck down. You can't go and just take away people's opinions. Look, I disagree with tons of people out there, but that doesn't mean they don't have the right to say that. I just don't agree with it, so why the fuck should I dictate that? I'm not special enough. I've had people go and harass me. I've had people go and threaten me. I've had people go and disagree with me. I've had tons of people go and do very negative, very fucked up, very annoying things to me. So am I special enough that I should be able to go out there and have it so that they can't go and do that shit whatsoever? Sure, a fucking death threat is pretty goddamn bad, but let's be realistic here. We're talking about a ton of other shit outside the spectrum of that, and that was something that she brought up. The day-to-day of dealing with people calling me a liar and you suck, that shouldn't happen. That is their fucking right to do it. It's your prerogative to go and read it and be affected by it. You know how many times you can just not give a shit? Not giving a shit apparently isn't allowed. That is some kind of foreign concept that everybody is oblivious to. No, we live in the politically correct environment of, oh, don't you know? That's offensive. That's not allowed. That's offensive. We better shut it down. That's all it is. Everything's offensive. Everything's sexist. Everything's so fucking awful. We have to go and get rid of it. I'm fucking sick of this. I mean, we had over 80 different representatives in the UN listen to the fucking babblings of two people who are the worst fucking possible people have up there trying to discuss real issues and real problems. And then when there are very real issues and very real problems, they go unnoticed. But you have Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian telling everybody that this is important. We don't like what they're saying. Shut it down. I don't get this. I don't. I mean, this is the digital age of book burnings. You know that? This is the digital age of book burnings because they want to go and take facts and throw them out the window because facts might hurt feelings. Facts are uncomfortable, and there's nothing more dangerous than an honest person. There's nothing more dangerous than an honest person who's persistent and will tell it like it is. Nothing more dangerous. But they want to make sure that you can't do that. They want to go onto sites like Twitter, and onto Facebook, and onto YouTube, and onto Reddit, and onto Tumblr, and onto whatever the fuck it is. And they want to tell them that if anybody says something that offends one little fucking special snowflake, shut it down. Worse yet, you have these stupid fucking sites like Polygon for example, who go and continue to stir the pot because they have an agenda. You have all these mass media outlets that have no fucking idea, but man, they love that fucking clickbait article so much because the fucking old media is fucking quaking in their boots, so they latch on to shit like this, and they're like, oh, don't you know, that right there, that's some bad stuff, so we're thinking that you need to all take heed. Don't ever think for yourselves. They don't want you to think for yourselves. They want to go and tell you what to think. I'll tell you right now, even if you disagree with me, that's your own fucking shit. And I'll tell you that I think that you're fucking insane, frankly, but that is your right. I don't believe that rights should be taken away. I've enjoyed the internet for what it is for the longest time, but now suddenly I'm watching all these goddamn fossils in the UN listen to two fucking psychos that do not represent women. No one voted Anita in, and there she is. Oh, Alpha, just ignore her, she'll go away. You fucking say. Really? You don't ignore problems, they just continue to fucking grow and snowball and get out of control. They want everybody to shut up. They want to just go on their fucking one crusade and do their fucking thing. And Zoe Quinn? How the fuck did she even get there? Really? I mean, this is fucking madness. I know so many goddamn influential, intelligent, and fucking strong women that deserve, that have struggled and strived and have achieved so much for the betterment of humanity, not just their own fucking agenda, for humanity, that deserve to be heard. Yet, their words will be lost on fucking deaf ears, and you have a fucking echo chamber of ridiculousness that's happening. And all the fucking countries around the world are fucking taking as factual information that's being fed to them. They had the audacity to say that cyber violence is just as damaging as physical violence. I want you to understand that I have met quite a few women who have been on the receiving end of physical violence from very fucked up individuals that they were dealing with. And if you try to go and tell them that crap, you sure as fuck would look insane in their eyes, and you'd be fucking dead wrong. The idea that you are trying to go and even peddle this bullshit is fucking ridiculous, but then making comparisons like this, saying that people aren't entitled to their opinions just because you don't fucking like them because they're about you. You have both been spinning bullshit for months and months and months. And when people say shit in response that don't directly correlate what the fuck you have been saying, you deem it as everything but an opinion, or a criticism, or whatever the fuck it's going to be. You try to go and say, that's harassment, oh, I don't really like that, oh, that's a sexist comment right there because it came from a man, we don't really like that. And you've both ignored the thousands upon thousands of women that you are on behalf of, right? You're sitting there on behalf of all women, yet no one, again, voted you in, but you ignore all the ones, tons of them, who have called you out on your bullshit. So, let me get this straight. So, would you have to go and campaign against them, and did you ever bring that up ever once? No, you haven't. You've always gone out there and just talked about these evil men that have done things. You went and you fucking flashed the Gamergate name around just to try to get some fucking notoriety behind things, hoping that, oh, maybe they'll know what that is and we better try to make this look as negative as possible. It's fucking amazing because, yet again, you are both in a position where you go unopposed. Nobody is arguing against you. Nobody is bringing up any kind of facts. There is no debate. It's just you going and saying your piece and then leaving it, and everybody's saying, oh, wow, did you hear all that? Well, that's what's going on, so now we have to act. Nobody's bringing up anything on an opposite end. Nobody's calling shit out. And when we are here, it doesn't count. It doesn't count because I'm a straight white male. I don't count. My opinions are invalidated simply because I have a dick and balls in the color of my skin. And all the women out there that are saying this stuff, you don't count either, because clearly no woman would ever say that according to them. And if you did, oh well, it must have been those evil men out there. Because guys like me are obviously manipulating you, not telling you to go and think on your own, and you clearly haven't actually come to any of these conclusions on your own. You were obviously being puppet mastered from behind the scenes and shit, which is amazing because if anybody is being puppet mastered, it's been Anita Sarkeesian, and anybody with any half a fucking bit of knowledge about her knows that she's full of shit, knows that there's somebody who's been behind the scenes going and orchestrating all this fucking crap, and all of this, again, is just to fucking seize control over something that people haven't been able to, because it's a domain that is just fucking crazy and vast and endless, but they want a piece of that, and they want to dictate what says, what isn't says, what goes and what doesn't go. And you have people like Zoe Quinn and like Anita Sarkeesian that don't like any of you out there. If you aren't with them, then you aren't supposed to exist. That's all it really is. It's this is some weird fucking cycle, and just watching it is awful. It is. The idea that this shit is happening blows my mind. I never thought ever once when I first got wind of either of them that I'd be talking about this. All the shit that I've ever spoken about in past videos was just like a demo. It wasn't even the main course. They were simply hors d'oeuvres. That right there was the fucking easy mode. Now's the real challenge. Now they're in a position to be able to do something. Now they're in a position to go and affect you and billions of other people. So I say this to you, please spread the word around. Please say something, please do something, especially women out there. Share this around, share it everywhere, share it to... Please say something. If there has ever been a fucking thing, I'd happily fucking sell off every goddamn thing that I have ever fucking owned to be able to fucking put an immediate stop to all of this shit so it can just go back to normal. I would do fucking anything in my power, but all I can be is a fucking informant. And that's really about it. To go and tell people about things and let them know, and let you come to your own conclusions, let you go and do your own digging, to let you go and do your own reading, to let you go and have your own fucking thoughts. But this needs to be out there. Everybody should know about it. And if you don't, now you do. So let the next person know, next person know, next person know. And every woman out there, they do not fucking represent you. You remember that. You represent yourself. That's all that there is to it. You represent yourself and you always will. And to all the fucking men out there, just remember, you're not all fucking monsters. Don't let them fucking tell you that you are. This is fucking bullshit. This is ridiculous. We're all people, okay? This isn't fucking about genders. This isn't about races. This isn't about where the fuck you come from. This is about the fact that there are two people who are trying to go and upset the establishment because these fucking feminazis want to be able to go unopposed, and I say fuck that and fuck them and fuck all of this. No, he said negative things. Yeah, no shit, because you're trying to go and ruin something that I wholeheartedly fucking love to death. And that is the internet, and that is my fucking freedoms. To say what I'm saying and doing what I'm doing here against a blue wall, because I'm not at home. I want to go and say all this to you, spread the word around, because information is power, and nothing is scarier to these motherfuckers than an honest person telling the truth and not stopping because we are so damn persistent.